Well, I started by highlighting really the growth of the ESG fund market in Europe, which is driven by investor interest in sustainability issues, climate change, of course, top of mind, but also regulation with SFDR in the EU, which really has impacted that market tremendously, because now more than half of the assets distributed in the European Union are either Article 8, so light green funds, or at Article 9, dark green funds. So what we've seen in the last few quarters is, of course, tremendous growth of that market in 2021, because we were in a very favorable market environment. 2022 wasn't a good year for investors. So like most asset classes performed very badly. And ESG funds were, some were, weren't immune to that challenging macro environment, but depending on how you define ESG funds, depending on whether you look at Article 8 funds or you use our definition of ESG fund, you can see that they have actually been quite resilient to the market environment, because if you compare them to traditional funds, they've registered inflows or small outflows compared to massive outflows from Article 6 funds or traditional funds, depending again on your definition of ESG funds. So that resilience, I think, tells us a lot about the appetite from investors for sustainable funds or ESG funds, and this is clearly a trend that is continuing in Europe. Of course, there's always a lot of broad sustainable or ESG funds that are being launched, or in the EU that are being upgraded. But there are also a lot of thematic funds. For example, when you look at product development in the EU, we think that in the past few years, a quarter of new funds have been actually environmental funds, some with a climate focus. And this is, again, because of this interest from European investors in climate issues. They feel like they want to do something about it, or at least that the risks are taken into consideration. And also the fact that a lot of asset managers have committed to net zero in the last couple of years. And you see that reflected in the products that they're launching, and also that demand from investors.